Hey, what's up guys? Radku here, back with another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today is going to be Unchained. Now this deck is very cool and very close to being competitive. It's a very powerful deck that is kind of reminiscent of cards like Super Poly and the Salamangreat fusion card, where you can use your opponent's monsters as fusion material, which is a very cool gimmick. This deck can use your opponent's monsters as link material, which is even more powerful because that means you're completely getting rid of them and using them as your material. So without further ado, let's jump right into the deck. And before I start, go check out my virtual world deck. This is my second video today, so go check that one out. So starting things off, I play 3 copies of Unchained Twins Aruha. So this card's effect is you can target one card you control. You cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Fiend. Basically, whole deck is Fiend. Also destroy the target, and if you do special summon this card from your hand. If this card on the field is destroyed by a card effect, except its own effect, or battle, you can special summon one Unchained monster from your hand or deck, which can really help you get into some pretty big beat sticks like Abominable Unchained Soul or even Unchained Soul of Disaster. So you almost always want to start out with one Unchained Twin in your hand when you start off your plays, but you do have ways of searching it pretty easily, which is pretty good. Then I play 3 copies of Souls Unchained Twins Rakia. So this card's quick effect, you can target one card you control, destroy it. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Fiend. Then if this card on the field is destroyed by card effect except by its own effect, you can special summon one Unchained monster from your hand or deck, except for this card. So similar to Ruha, this card's effect is actually really good. Even though it's not, this deck is heavily required to have a normal summon, you can still pretty easily use their effects, and being able to special summon from the deck as well as destroying your monsters, which don't destroying like an Aruha is really good. You can pretty easily abuse this effect. So yeah, 3 copies of this, absolutely mandatory. 2 copies of Unchained Twins Sarama. This card's pretty good too. You can target one Unchained card in your graveyard, except for this card. Set it to your field, then destroy one card you control. So on top of getting a free summon, you could even destroy that card. You get another free card on the field. Then if this card on the field is destroyed by card effect, except by its own, or by battle, you can special summon one from your deck. So all the Unchained Twins have that effect, and frankly, it's a very powerful effect. Being able to special summon from the deck with such a limited lineup is a very powerful. And even though this card isn't as versatile as the other ones, because the other ones have a bit better destruction effects, this card is just still really good. Then I play 2 copies of Unchained Soul of Disaster. You kind of don't want to draw into these cards because they're your best targets to special summon from the deck, but this card's effect is gains 300 attack for each Unchained card in your graveyard. Then you can only use the following effects once per turn. You can target one face-up monster your opponent controls immediately after this effect resolves. Link summon one Dark Link monster using only this card you control and that opponent's monster. And if this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one Unchained monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So you're usually going to special summon this card off of one of your Unchained Twins effect, which is really the only way you want to summon it to go into your combo plays. But this card is really good because it can help you go into your Unchained Soul of Rage, which is one of the main reasons you want to go into it. Plus, you can crash into your opponent's monster because it has 0 attack and pretty easily trigger off its effect and pretty easily use your opponent's monsters for link plays. Then I play 2 copies of Abominable Unchained Soul. This is the main card you want to summon off of your Twins effects. You can only use the effects once per turn. Then if a card you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can discard one card, destroy one card on the field, including your own, which is really good. Then once per turn during the end phase, if this card was in the graveyard, if this card is in the graveyard because it was destroyed on the field and sent there this turn, you can special summon this card, but place it at the bottom of the deck when it leaves the field. So on top of being able to summon it out with your twins, you have this card to put it back in the deck, which is actually really good as opposed to banishing it. If it banished it, it wouldn't be as good, but since it puts it back at the bottom of the deck, you can infinitely fuel this card using your Unchained twins, which is really good. Surprising add-in, I'm playing 2 copies of Tour Guide from the Underworld. So this card isn't as good in this deck, but this deck is mainly level 3 fiend monsters, so you can use Tour Guide. This is easily cut out for some more cards, but I liked it at 2 copies just because if I brick and draw into too many of my Unchained Souls, I can always use this to go into a rank 3 play with some decent rank 3 monsters in the deck. Then I play 1 copy of Unchained or Dark Spirit of Malice, and 1 copy of a Dark Spirit of Banishment. Only Dark Spirit cards you really want to play. So the effect of Malice, when your opponent activates a card effect, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, then target 1 level 8 fiend monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but its effects are negated. If a level 8 fiend monster is sent to the graveyard while this card is in the graveyard, you can add it to your hand. So this means you can fuel this card multiple times. Despite the fact that it's a hard once per turn, you have options to use it for Unchained Soul. Then Dark Spirit of Banishment's effect. If your opponent's monster attacks at the start of the damage, if your opponent's monster attacks at the start of the damage step, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, then target 1 level 8 fiend monster in the graveyard, special summon it, but its effects are negated, and if you do, change the attack target to it and perform the battle damage calculation. So that's really good, and then it has a similar renewal effect. So that's a really good effect. These two both at 1 copy is fine because even though they're not as searchable in this deck, you can still use them pretty effectively. Plus, you don't want to hard draw into them very often unless you have an Unchained Soul in the grave, which even then is kind of unlikely considering that it's a 3000 beater and that it renews itself. Then for some hand traps, 3 Ghost and 2 DD Crow. I don't know why these cards stopped seeing as much play, but I really, really like them, and I think they're really good. Then I play 1 Monster Reborn because this deck does use a lot of cards in the graveyard, and you can fuel your link plays just by using 1 Monster Reborn. 1 Foolish Burial because sending cards to the graveyard is good in this deck, and it's really good in any deck. So generic, 1 Foolish Burial. 3 copies of Abomination's Prison. This card is really good. Add 1 Unchained card from your deck to your hand. This card is destroyed by a card effect. You can special summon 1 Unchained monster from your deck. So on top of the fact that you have really good cards in the deck, you have ways of searching it with this, and if your opponent destroys it, that's great, but then you have Twin Twisters in the deck which can destroy it for you to get a free special summon out of it, which is really, really good since it doesn't specify your opponent's card effects. 3 copies of Dark Hole. Dark Hole is really good because this deck can spam out a few of these. So having them destroyed, then using them for plays to just renew themselves into an Unchained Soul or a Soul of Disaster is really, really good. Then I play 2 copies of Twin Twister. I was playing this at 3, but I wanted to fit in 1 more copy of Abomination's Prison. This is more of a budget variant, so these cards are like budget staples, so pretty good. Then I play 2 copies of Pot of Desires. I was playing this at 3, but I felt like if I banish too much of my deck, I'm not going to be able to get the full mileage out of it, so I didn't want to take any chances there, and 2 copies of it is fine. Two copies of Wailing of the Unchained. This card isn't very good, but it's pretty good. If you link summon an Unchained Link monster, you can target one card on the field, destroy it. So generic destruction. This set card is destroyed by card effect, including your own. You can special summon one Unchained monster from your deck. So having that free special summon is good, but you do already have a card that does that for you. Plus, the generic destruction allows you to fuel your plays really easily, despite the fact that you don't link summon a ton in this deck, because this deck is not technically link spam. It's more of link control, like slowly chipping away at your opponent. So just keep that in mind. It's pretty good, but not as good as Prison. Then I play 3 copies of Abominable Chamber of the Unchained. Special summon one Unchained monster from your hand or graveyard. If this set card is destroyed by effect, you can special summon one Unchained from your deck, which is really good. You have a lot of these cards that can fuel your link plays. Because if you can go into your Unchained Soul of Rage without needing to go into your Unchained Soul of Disaster, you can pretty easily start off your plays and get some pretty good mileage off of that. 2 copies of Escape from the Unchained. Target one Unchained monster you control, and one card on the field. Destroy them both. Then, if this set card is destroyed by a card effect, you can special summon one from your deck, which basically all your Unchained / Abomination spell and trap cards have that effect, which is really good. Plus, it's none of them specify your opponent's card effects, so you can use your Twin Twisters to pop them off and get some really good advantage off of that. Then for the extra deck, 3 copies of Unchained Soul of Rage. This card's really good. During your opponent's main phase quick effect, you can special summon target one face-up special summon monster your opponent controls. Immediately after this effect resolves, link summon one Dark Link monster except for Unchained Soul of Rage using that monster and this card you control as material. Then if this card on the field is destroyed, you can target one fiend in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So some renewal in case you are playing a slow game. Plus, if you go up against another link deck, you could easily just go into an Unchained Abomination and just combo off from there, which is really, really good, surprisingly. Because there's a lot of link decks right now, or decks at least that use link 2 monsters. And since Unchained Abomination is so generic, you can pretty easily use it. Then I play 3 copies of Unchained Soul of Anguish. You can target one face-up monster you control. Immediately after this effect resolves, link summon one Dark Link monster by using that monster. And then if this card on the field is destroyed, you can target one monster in the graveyard, add it to your hand. So literally the exact same effect as Unchained Soul of Disaster, like almost literally the exact same effect. So except this one can be used immediately when it's summoned. Since it's not a quick effect. So the thing about this is these 2 cards are that they're your main combo pieces. You don't really play Unchained Abomination a ton, even though you do go into it pretty regularly. You really only want 1 copy of it. Plus, this deck is actually really powerful, being able to go into different Link 4 monsters, which is really, really powerful. Then I play 1 copy of Unchained Abomination. I play this in my Dragon Link deck, and it's really, really powerful. It's good for generic destruction. If anybody does anything in this deck, or in any deck, they get a card destroyed. If a card is destroyed, destroy a card, except by this card. When another monster is destroyed, destroy 1 card, and during the end phase, destroy 1 card. So really, really good, just being able to destroy a ton of stuff, and then you can only use each effect once per turn, which isn't bad. You have pretty good amount of destruction there, so it doesn't really matter. 1 copy of Topologic Bomber Dragon, because this deck can easily get a ton of mileage out of destroying all of your cards, and then you get some good effects off of destroying your opponent's monsters too. Then it's pretty good to have a 3000 beater that can basically attack your opponent directly, and it's pretty easy to go into it with this deck. So yeah, one copy of Double Bite Dragon. This card's really good. It's a tech option that was played by Jimothy Yu-Gi-Oh. Really good channel. Go check it out. Game's attack equal to the combined link ratings of the monsters used for it times 3, unaffected by monster effects except for link monsters. Ignore that. Um, and cannot be destroyed by battle except with link monsters. So it's a nice wall to put over. One copy of Power Code Talker. I actually really like this card. I don't know why it's not played, but I mean, like generic link monsters just aren't good, I guess. You can target one face-up monster on the field, negate that target's effect until the end of the turn. Then once per turn, when this card battles an opponent's monster, quick effect, you contribute one monster. This card's attack becomes double. So battle protection and some effect negation is really good. One topologic Zeraboros, because you just want to get rid of your opponent's monsters, because this deck really only has one link monster on the field, so you kind of want to set this up so that it limits your opponent's link zones, lest they banish all their cards. One copy of Dante, because Dante is just a generic rank 3. Plus, it's got some decently high defense with some mill capabilities. Then I play one copy of Nightmare Shark because it can attack directly. One copy of DDD Stone King Darius because it actually has a decent effect. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, then target one Dark Contract card you control, destroy it, and then draw one card. Ignoring that effect, if this card battles an opponent's monster, but you can make this card unable to be destroyed by battle and destroy that opponent's monster that was battled. And then inflict 500 damage to your opponent. So basically, it's a 5,000 burn on some just generic spot removal. You will take a little bit of damage, but it's well worth it to be able to get over some of your opponent's big boss monsters. And one copy of Wind Up Zinmains, just because it's generically good for rank 3 plays. I did play a good chunk of rank 3, as you can see, just because I do play the tour guide, so having that versatility is good. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the deck. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, let me know what you thought, and let me know if there's anything you would change about this deck. Would you check out the hand trap lineup? Despite the fact that this is a budget variant, I'm sure there are different hand traps you can use. Would you change up the extra deck in it at all? Would you cut out some of your rank 3 cards? And would you even add tour guide? So yeah, and I will see you in the next Yu-Gi-Oh video. Peace.